Hello there, it's Steve Tolan. I am back again with another episode of Change the Game. Thank you for joining us, and today I'm delighted to be joined by my fabulous guest, Sabina Sulovsky. How are you going?
Good. Excited actually.
Yeah,
Excited because this is my kind of arena. I'm not a boxer,
okay.
But I'm a gym goer.
Yep.
And well, that's my number one performance tool, to be honest.
Yeah, what's that?
So being in this kind of, it's not the traditional podcast venue, but that's why I think it's really...
That's the whole point, and many people have said this is the first and probably the last time I'll do a podcast in a boxing gym, so I'm quite proud of that.
You
accolades.
might start a movement.
Yeah, exactly, but it's all about the mindset. So in terms of kicking off, rather than a big boring intro, I'd love to do the 3 W's. Who are you? What does he do? And why is what you do really, why are you so passionate about it?
So, Sabina Sulovsky, and performance and leadership coach.
Yep.
And what I do is basically teach leaders to optimise their energy and performance by working smarter, not harder, with physiology, neuroscience, and habit and performance behaviour.
Okay.
Really, really simple stuff, not easy, but simple stuff
Yep.
that a lot of people are not really tapping into.
Yep.
At a very heavy cost.
Okay, all right, interesting. Thank you very much. And, they are real people, so you talk about high performance. How are you feeling today? Because I know recently you've been a little bit kind of under the weather, right?
Yeah, so I went to Bali to actually source a high performance retreat, and I ended up having my own bit of a lapse.
Okay.
But I think it was timely, and it was good, because what I do is, we're always pushing ourselves, but you have to embody it as a leader, right?
Yeah.
And you have to embody it. So it forced me to take some steps back,
Yep.
but it also forced me to reevaluate exactly where I'm going,
Yep.
and to
I like that.
reevaluate exactly how, this is what I'm teaching, I've got to embody it. So
Yep.
I'm feeling good, I'm about
Yeah.
75%.
Good on you. 2025 has not been fun. I move a million miles an hour, but...
Really?
Yeah.
I would not have known that. Oh
Yes,
my God, I never knew that.
including this morning. Is this what you're seeing across the board from everyone that you work with? Everyone seems just a little bit frazzled.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just me. That's good.
And it's there's no surprise, right?
Yep.
We are living in a world where it's basically we are on all the time, and we've been pulled all over, and we're trying to do so many different things still while having notifications and alerts and family stuff, and we've got no boundaries. So I'm seeing it like boundaries is something that a lot of people don't have now, in that their work sort of spreads over, or I could say infects, their family life, and then that suffers, and then their work suffers, and we just haven't got any containers to contain what we're doing. So I see it, yes, 100% the answer is
I'm
yes.
laughing because I'm definitely not the poster boy for having balance.
Not yet. Wait till I get my hands on you.
I need help. Especially if my wife was here, she'd be saying, yeah, absolutely. But we talked about, I know when we spoke to you today, screens, working habits, etc., and the right to disconnect has kind of, appeared over the last kind of couple of years. I guess the question is that working? Because my answer is not really, unless I'm the odd one out. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, number one, it's a step in the right direction.
Yep.
At least there's some awareness around it in terms of leadership and an organisational level. So I think that's a massive win. That said, there's so much more we can be doing, and hopefully it's going to sort of like start impacting different. We're going to start looking a little bit wider as to see what else we can do to help increase productivity and performance. So yes, small shifts.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just the start. Maybe 2026, people are going to start thinking a little bit differently about performance and productivity. But it's a start, I suppose. That's.
Okay. And we have this kind of high performance work ethic. If you're in a corporate setting, right, you're always on. You've got to be available. That you can only go so far with that, right? So how do you kind of combat that? Because I guess the fear, and I can speak to this, is that you might miss something or something important kind of comes through. How do you kind of manage that?
Well, by asking what's the cost to the system. What's the cost to... If you look at how stress works, stress is an instruction manual for our body, or our surroundings are all telling it. We always get 11 bits of information per second through our skin, through our nerves. We're getting all this information, and our body and brain is making up these assumptions based on what we're feeding it, be it stress or whatever. And so when we're in that, what was it?
The right where you just don't feel as though you're able to disconnect.
When we're in that, we sacrifice our resources that we need, such as our cognition, our decision making, our focus, our thinking skills, because our body is primed. Basically, it's just instructed. The programming is just basically to get us out of there, just to focus on one thing. So, if, for example, somebody I was dealing with recently, very stressed, but he's wanting to act on this decision and this decision, but his body's saying, no way, am I allowed to swear? No fucking way, I'm going here. So you can say whatever you want me to do, X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to say no. And then it'll eventually do it, but you'll get that, but that decision or that problem won't be solved until, it could have been a 1 minute problem. It's 5 minutes or 10 minutes at a huge cost in terms of energy bandwidth and energy resources.
Yeah, and the knock-on effect of that is, and again, I am guilty, the family see you, they know you're there, but you're not present. That's a big issue, right? Not just with me, but I know with many people that we're seeing. So I think, and I don't know where this has kind of come from, but with technology, and I made this comment before, you can do everything without leaving the house, right? But technology has given us so much opportunity, but there's a lot of disadvantages, right? You look at the family life.
And I think having a bit of a system when we go home to actually de-work, to take off our suit, to basically get rid of, that's why I say containers.
Yeah.
Have a boundary.
Yeah.
Because our body and our brain respond to anchors, right? So it's like when you go in your kitchen, all of a sudden your body starts thinking of digestion, right? So it's the same when you're in the office. When you're in the office, you're in work mode. When you're in the family, you're in family mode, right? You should be chilling mode. But the anchors are being confused. So the body's going like, well, what is it you want me to do? You want me to work or you want me to chill out? What is it? So you get there, you're not present, you're on your phone, and there's a cost of that because you're not present.
Yeah.
But also look at the cost of what it's costing your kids in the future. The cost isn't now. The cost is later when the kids are, psychologists are having, there's waiting lists because kids are struggling. That's just now. These are the early days.
Yeah.
So I think just think about the cost and think also about if you actually contain your spaces and make really serious boundaries, your body and brain will actually start, you'll just see a shift.
Yeah.
Your stress levels will go down, your anxiety will go down, and you'll feel like you're doing a really good job as a parent or whatever it might be, a really good job as a work person. So having boundaries is just something really, really simple. Yeah. And that discipline, it's been disciplined.
It's fascinating because there's a good mate of mine, Adam Cox, he's not the only one. He moved from an iPhone to a Nokia 3310 and he posted about it and he talks about all the benefits. You can't WhatsApp me, you can't do whatever. And have a look at all the modes of communication now. We've got Slack, we've got email, we've got text, and it's like, Jesus, what more do you want? So it's interesting because I think now there's this trend, and I talked about this yesterday, with AI in the past couple of years, everyone went full throttle, we need AI. And harnessing the humanity is what I kind of come back to. People are going, now we want human connection, right? And so, are you seeing that, you think, where people are kind of going a little bit anti-tech?
We are outsourcing everything to AI, and we have our, I call it NI, our natural intelligence, our innate intelligence. And we are letting go of that, and we are taking away agency and giving it to something else, which I think AI is fantastic in so many realms. But it's how you use it. And, it comes at a cost. It's like muscle, right?
Yeah.
Is if you stop using that muscle, eventually it atrophies.
Yeah.
The same as it's going to be with our mind.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
No, 100%. And I think, again, I've seen this with so many people that are spending a lot of money on this. And it kind of brings me on to the next point, because I think we spend so much, businesses invest so much in technology, and it's the human kind of element, right? Because you're constantly on. and your decision making, and I've suffered from this because you're constantly on. I can see you wake up tired, right? The dopamine kind of hits. So I think coming on to, you do a lot with high performers. So what does it actually mean to you in kind of a corporate kind of setting, right? What does a high performer look like, or the behaviours? What do you see?
Well, I think there's so many high performers that there's high performance on two different levels.
Yeah.
So I put it like think of a Lamborghini. What's your favourite car?
Oh, I'll have a Mercedes.
Oh, I was going to say Ford Fiesta. So Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know much about cars, but the performance
Yeah.
is not in the chassis or whatever.
Yeah.
It's underneath the internals, the engine.
Yeah.
So, we don't just sort of like polish it.
Yeah.
We have to fine tune the engine. There's no way you'd neglect an expensive Mercedes that's parked in your car. You wouldn't leave it out in the hail. You wouldn't neglect it.
Yeah.
Because any part of it, but the actual engine is where the performance comes from.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is basically, it's in terms of performance, is we need to look at a cellular level, the engine room,
Yeah.
and we're not looking at that. And I think, sorry.
No.
I think in organisations, they look at this big grandiose thing and it looks great on paper,
Yeah.
but the reality is that what's happening on an internal level, performance is an inside job.
Yeah.
So
like that.
when this is
Yeah.
synchronizing,
Yeah.
you've got these systems. When you synchronize this with all this,
Yeah.
magic.
Performance is an inside job. I think I'm going to have to nick that one, Jeff.
No, you're not.
It's
I've
a great
trademarked
quote. But are high performers born, or are they built? Is it a mindset?
I think it's a mindset.
Okay.
But maybe in 20 years' time, I'll think something different.
Yeah.
I think we've all got the potential
Yeah.
to be a high performer, and in whatever industry, or even if it's just something that, whatever it is. But I think, think about it like athletes.
Yeah.
They're not born athletes.
Yeah.
They're coached, they're trained, they've got, they're finely tuned.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same as we need to stack habits and high performance behaviours that accelerate us.
Yeah.
And it's about the stacking. I'm not sure about them being
Interesting.
Born.
Discipline. And again, one of the reasons we film here is exactly that. I've used this kind of analogy many times. Two boxers get in a ring, same weight class. One can kind of, it's mindset, right? It's training, it's kind of condition. I completely see the same. I personally think at the moment that what we're seeing across the board is people's resilience is kind of quite low. And it's easy to say it's this generation or it's whatever. I don't know, but I see it more and more in many kind of settings in the workplace. Is that, I guess, is it fair?
So what would
comment?
what would a specific example be?
People just burnt out. They're always on. They're always on is probably the most common complaints, and I think that's pretty fair. Particularly if you work. We live in Sydney CBD. It's an expensive place to live. This, that, and the other. People have got mortgages, school fees, etc. I'm one of them. But I think it's a kind of common occurrence, and you can only take that so far, right, before it starts to impact you. So, I guess, is that something that you're seeing?
Well, I think, it's not surprising. We're
Yeah.
being programmed to be on,
Yeah.
and our brain and our body absorbs everything. So that's exactly what society has told us. Well, you're never off. Work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Those old. We're back in the UK. I'm sure it's the same in Australia, but
Yeah.
that whole that was growing up.
Yeah.
That was work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard, and I think just like now, that's gone to a complete different level.
Yeah.
Is your boss is able to email you at 12 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have the notifications on, but all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
We're actually allowing them to do it to us, and anyway, I could go on forever, but
Yeah.
the short answer is yes, I'm seeing that too.
Okay. So I work in recruitment, know a lot of salespeople, people who work in kind of high pressure, kind of corporate roles. How do the levels of kind of pressure change as people kind of rise that kind of corporate ladder? And I guess more from you, how do their coping mechanisms kind of change, right? As you get more responsibilities, just more pressure.
I think that's a really good question, and I think what happens is I don't think it's supported as much as what it should be. I know there's a lot of leadership training provided, But in terms of especially stress management and things like that,
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that are taking on these extra responsibilities,
Yeah.
but they're not, their energy or they're not upgrading the software. So
I'll nick that one as well.
you're not going to nick that. so it's like the computer.
Yeah.
They're still running or whatever. They're not upgraded.
Yeah.
And yet we're expecting them to do these massive high-performing roles.
Yeah.
But they still haven't got the resources that they've got are quite limited to the roles they had. So I
Yeah.
think we need to really, maybe when we talk about leadership, and I'm doing a leadership course recently, but it's not just about, you know, how they talk to people and communicate. There's so much more to it. It's actually them so that they can work smarter. I think it needs to be more robust in the support for leaders.
Yeah. What are the signs that someone's energy, whatever, might be slipping, or, you know, they're not, that they're heading close to kind of burnout?
You can just, so often, to give you an example actually, there was one woman, and she was a client, actually she won't mind me saying this, when she came to me she was on, and she had 2 phones, she had, that was buzzing and that was buzzing, she was always like this, looking around, and you know, she was like this. On edge. You could tell, you could sense she's on edge. And so that was causing, you know, poor girl, she was just all over the place. Yeah. So, you know, having that sort of like nervousness or being distracted, not paying attention, maybe they have a task to do, but they're actually struggling to understand it. It's a very simple task.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is going back on the stress. When you're stressed, right, and stress is sleep deprivation as well, right? It's a whole plethora of different things. You haven't got the resources to think straight.
Yeah.
You haven't got the raw ingredients to think straight. So it's like making a cake, but you haven't got any flour.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. So picking up things like that, disengagement, and poor focus, I think, is one thing.
Yeah, and I see it, and I guess what are the people run on adrenaline, right? And particularly in sales or recruitment, it can sometimes be a badge of honour. But everyone's kind of got KPIs, targets, we kind of got to hit. But what are some of the negative impacts, right? When if you do that for too long, because again, you know, we don't run on batteries, right? So at some point, it's going to catch up with you.
Well, the body takes toll; it doesn't forget, and so, you know, when you are constantly on, there is a cost to that.
Yeah.
And you know, as we change and we evolve and our hormones change, so does our tolerance, especially as we get older. So I think, I mean, I don't want to, you know, I think there's a lot of disease around it. You know, if you're on for too long and you put up with that, or you tolerate that kind of behaviour, or kind of, the kind of
you allow it, you continue.
You allow, but that's not the employee. The employer could think a little bit more intelligently about it, because, like, we're going back into containers.
Yeah.
Put them in concentration containers.
Yeah.
Schedule the day. We have this circadian rhythm. We have our day. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have all those things. Start to look at your work day like that. When you know, they can have schedule the focus time, schedule the calls time, so that then those people haven't got as much of a stress load.
Yeah.
So it can still be done. Those targets can still be achieved, but it's just about reworking the system.
Yeah. You talk about focus, it brings me on to a great point again. I definitely haven't got this down pat. I've learned to take off notifications on certain apps and stuff.
Fabulous.
So how does someone create focus in a world where we say we've got so many apps and it is instant, right? People, how do you kind of commit to the task, or, you know, stay focused?
Yeah, so even, I mean, well done, congratulations for doing that. But having even after watching this, right, if someone can just take 5 minutes to literally go to the settings and audit their apps and audit the notifications, what is a non-negotiable, and what do you really need to see? Because that buzzing, even if they're on silent, you're still, like I said, your brain is you're so sensitive to the most minute things that we don't even notice on a conscious level. So just make your life easy. It's about making our lives easier.
Yeah.
You don't really need, and
It's not urgent.
and another
Often.
another thing that I do, and some people get annoyed with me for doing it, but I turn on, on an iPhone, you can do the focus, right? You can turn your phone off. You can set it so at a certain time. So in the evening I'm off.
Yeah.
And you can allow certain people. So if my mum in England, there's something wrong, she's allowed.
Yeah.
But other than that, do you know what I mean? So because then also people will respect our time more.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm off.
Yeah.
Okay, so they make sure that email that they sent you about, one tiny little thing, they'll make sure that the email's solid and robust. It has the 3 things on it that they need to discuss, rather than I'm sending one now. So you're training them as well as training you, and it's just respecting your self-respect.
Yeah.
Oh,
really,
one song.
Please.
Another one is putting your phone in a box.
Okay.
Have you heard of these boxes?
I have.
People do it and they're quite good. I haven't done it yet, but putting your phone in a box and taking it away.
Yeah.
Or having it locked.
Okay.
But
That's extreme levels.
It's an extreme level, but I think just take it out of your view for an hour and then come back to it.
Okay. I like that. I want to talk about recovery again. In the athlete setting of various things, people understand the benefits, particularly if we bring it back to sales, kind of corporate life. Again, it's almost this badge of honor, right? And I've been there. You go hard, but again, what are some of the disadvantages and negative impacts of not taking time to recover?
Oh, I'm going to get excited.
Please do. But yeah, and I guess then to counteract it, what are some of the benefits? I mean, which might seem quite kind of obvious, but...
So there's lots of different ways we can think about recovery, but let's talk about sleep, right? And so we have different phases of sleep, which we know about. When your brain is doing everyday things, it accumulates a lot of crap, a lot of dirt in the day, right? And what it has something called the lymphatic system that takes place at night, and it basically is like a plumbing system for your brain, and it gets rid of all the debris and all the dirt, all the metabolic debris. This only happens in deep sleep. If you're not getting deep sleep, you're literally walking around trying to do this high-performing job that you're getting paid a lot of money for, that you have all these expectations placed on your responsibility, with like a dirty brain. You haven't got the resources. So if you look at it from that, is that your brain is clearer. It can make decisions because it doesn't have so much sludge to go through. So I think that's one thing that is really good. Another thing is the reset. So it is just your digestive system is responsible for how you think as well. It's a two-way superhighway. So ensuring that you get proper rest so your digestive system rests too means that when your system is rest at the bottom, then this will work better too. So again, you'll make better decisions. And 3, just switching off. Everything needs a rest. Your computer needs a rest. And be compassionate to yourself. I think that's one thing we do, like as high performers, we say, oh well, and I've definitely done it in the past. But okay, well, I don't feel like, something's happening, then be compassionate to yourself. If your kid's off sick and you can't do what you can't do, don't do manoeuvre over somersaults. People are still human and they have to understand. So have compassion for yourself and be self-kind.
Isn't it, it's funny, because I think people now have this guilt that if they take time off or whatever, that's kind of where we've gone. So what are some of the behaviours then that you see in high performers? I mean, do they embody everything you kind of just talked about? What do you see?
Well,
behaviours, rituals, and one thing we haven't talked about is exercise, right?
Yeah. So the people that I see that are actually doing really well, they are exercising on a daily basis. So it's a performance tool. Yeah. And everything I teach is a performance tool, and you can take advantage of it or not. But if you don't, then you're selling yourself short. You're on the back foot. So exercising every day, doing breath work doesn't mean you have to be Wim Hof, but even just doing deep breathing, that calms your nervous system down. Eating protein-rich foods with greens and things like that, like your stress is not just in your surroundings, but it's also on your plate. So eating stressful foods, high-fat foods, trans fats, these foods that are fake foods, they stress our body out, and we're adding that stress onto an already stressed body. So cold showers, I mean, that's plunge pools, you can go to that extreme, but it doesn't have to be that extreme, but I see a lot of that. But exercise is something. But I don't think I see it as often as what I would have thought I'd see it.
Interesting. Yeah, that's one thing I've been guilty of the last 6 months, launching the business, not exercise as much. That's why when I'm normally in here, they put me through the paces. Not today, but I will get back there. If someone was to last question on this kind of section, but if someone's sitting here today going, I want to, I'm not going to turn into Wim Hof or whatever, but I want to get an extra 20, 30% kind of productivity, what would be the kind of 2 or 3 steps or simple steps that they could take?
The bookends of the day.
Yeah.
Morning and evening is for you. Mm-hmm. Put your own oxygen mask on first.
I like that.
And just make sure, you're in the plane, that's what you do. It's the same with leadership, be it if you're a parent, whatever. You cannot help others if you cannot help yourself first. Mm-hmm. And it's just the most simplistic thing. And setting yourself up for that. So the morning routine, the first half hour is most powerful.
Yeah.
First hour, I would say no devices, no to-do list, no phone, nothing like that that's going to increase your stress levels. Be sacred. Yeah. Think of it as protecting your time, protecting your energy from the inside out.
Okay. Question, so we talked a lot about, thank you, the individual, the leader. So what about in a team perspective? So I'm a burnt out leader, or feel as though, it's getting towards the end of the year. How can you show up every day, even though you might not feel like it, right? But give the best version of yourself to the team, because the team are looking at you, right? It's like the old military thing. If you show weakness or you're tired, the next minute, your troops are going to be tired. So any tips there for you as in still showing up and leading as a leader?
I think going back onto those routines, if you can get those down, like when you take care of yourself, you are coming from you're priming yourself, and there's lots of steps you can do to prime yourself, but you're priming yourself in the morning. And then when you come from that, you come from a complete different level. It's like when you go to the gym. Mm-hmm. You go do a workout and you feel unstoppable afterwards. It's the same, but you do that every single day. So your energy levels just are automatically here. Mm-hmm. And it's felt by your team. They see you, like, again, it's something that we don't see, but you can see the difference in energy of people, and you can still motivate them. You're inspiring them, right? And it can lead to so much more than that. So taking care of yourself is not a selfish or self-indulgent thing. It's actually a business investment.
Yeah. I really like that. It's a business investment. We don't run on batteries, and I think that's what I'm seeing more and more. I can honestly say a lot of people are questioning themselves, as you are getting older and things, to go at this kind of pace, particularly with technology. It's not easy. Thank you very much for the incredible insights. This has given me a lot of kind of food for thought. I know we spoke earlier in the week, there's a lot of things I was kind of taken on board. Final question for you. What does kind of change the game mean to you? And I didn't prep you on this one because I want to keep the,
Well, it's really changed the game.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about change yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about it, and it's just like change requires change.
Yep.
You can't keep doing the same thing and actually expect to get something different. It's not going to happen. So why are we wasting our time? And changing the game means changing how we look at things.
Yep.
I think change the game. I want to steal that, but like changing it as in starting to look at it performance as an inside job. Yeah. And changing how we look at performance instead of like go hard. Think about like actually how we it's not fluffy. People think it's fluffy. It's not about wellness fluffiness. It's about having KPIs for your internal performance. And no.
I've got to nick that one as well. That's well four. I'll have to get trademark. Sorry, Jeff. But
change. No, I think that would change the game.
Yeah.
And this actually really, the whole what you've set up really excites me because this is very. Wish I had this idea. But that whole, the performance is done often behind the scenes.
Yeah.
When you what's his name? Usain Bolt. An interview with him, he said he doesn't. It's not the race that is the hardcore. It's the behind the training, the performance, the nutritionist, all that
marginal
discipline,
gains, all the things,
all
yes,
that
yeah,
makes him go, and so it's the stuff behind the scenes
yeah,
that is what's going to move the needle forward. So
Yeah.
I think I really like change the game. I think if you can change the aspect or change the lens of how people start to look at
yeah,
business and see performance and health as a business investment,
yeah,
that'll actually grow your business,
yeah.
rather than something fluffy and doing a bit of yoga. Even
Yeah.
though I love yoga.
Yeah, I like boxing, slightly different, but although, yeah, I mean, no fit state for the last kind of couple of months, but I will get back there. What a beautiful way to end. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed speaking to you. It's been great. Yeah, just getting to know you, and again, one of the reasons I really wanted you to come, because it's so important. And again, we joke, but yes, this year for me, I've had the week off since January. I'm feeling it. You still kind of show up, right? And I think there's a lot of people that are kind of feeling it. I'm looking forward. We've got the session tomorrow, which is going to be awesome, which is great. And a lot of people take this as a massive compliment coming to listen to you, because again, it was the first thing, the mindset, right? I talk a lot about mindset and mastery. So I totally, everything you've said kind of resonated with me. We're not machines. Technology, and even for me as a parent, as a business owner, there's so much that you can actually do. But again, I go back to that point that I said before, harness the humanity. And someone said you need to coin that one, because I think what we're seeing now is people haven't been looking after themselves, and human connection is the top priority. We talk around that there's a lack of trust that's being built with people, so I'm really feeling it. So thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it.
I loved it. Really loved it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On one of the hottest days, I think, in Sydney. So
we're going to go box now, aren't we? I used to do taekwondo.
Oh, geez, well, you could have told me that before, but but thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeff, as always, for filming us, and the guys in the boxing gym who aren't here at the moment. But it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.